everybody, Bonnie here. Happy Vlogmas. Oh my goodness, I have been waiting, you guys. I'm so excited. So for the month of December, I think I'm just gonna go like December 1st through the 31st. And who knows what's gonna happen in January because I don't know either. But every day I'll be making a video in December, and this is the first one, Vlogmas Day 1. There are two things that I know I'm going to carry throughout the month, and then I've got a whole list, you guys. I've got a whole list of stuff that I would love to accomplish during December, but I know I probably won't even get through half of it. At least I'm not going to be grasping for ideas because I have a lot of fun December things. So the two that I'm going to be doing though, every day I have an advent calendar that I'll be opening, and then I've got a project, a nativity scene that I will be working on throughout the month. So let's start with that advent calendar. Every year the girls get one that has chocolates in them, you know, just like those cheap ones. Well, I got one for myself this year, and I took out the tray that's in there with the chocolates because I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I just put the chocolates all in a bag for the girls to eat. I'm not tipping it a lot because I don't want a disaster to happen inside of here. We'll see. We'll see if it makes it through the whole month. But we've got Frosty right here, but there are not milk chocolates inside. So since today is the 1st of December, that's how we do it. We open it door number 1 on the 1st. Door number 1 is, there it is. There's number 1 right there. Door number 1. This is so, it's kind of weird and funny, you guys, but it's something that I want to get into the habit of doing. Wow, this is really hard to open. I kind of ripped the door. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, I kind of ripped the door. That's okay, I can get another one next year. Door number 1. It's a vitamin. You guys, it's a vitamin. It's a women's one a day vitamins, because I need to start taking my vitamins and I always forget. So I thought, you know, this is healthier doing vitamins than chocolate, and it'll get me in the habit of taking my vitamin. Have you guys had your vitamins today? The girls are really good at taking theirs every day, but I don't think I've taken a vitamin in like 3 weeks. It does have the shapes in there though, and this is a little train shape that the chocolate was shaped like, but obviously the vitamin is gonna look the same. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do anything with these little shapes. I thought maybe of getting some Play-Doh and then like making a tiny mold of it and showing you guys, just so you can see the cute little things, because there are 24 different shapes. But it's time to take my vitamin, so I'm gonna do that. I brought my water bottle right next to the table of crochet stuff that I have to show you guys. So I'm gonna take my vitamin. All right, I took my vitamin. The other thing that I want to do during December, which isn't quite so weird, is crocheting this traditional nativity. This is by Crochet at Teris, as you can see right there. I bought this on Etsy. This is the US version. There are 2 versions in her Etsy shop, so just be mindful of that, whatever one you'd like to do. Now, I was going to, you guys, I was so ambitious. I was going to try to do like the 12 days of Christmas, but divide these all up into 12, because if I take all the animals and then the 12 people, or not 12 people, but you know what I mean, I could split it up so it's not so bad. So today, I thought I'd start with the angel. And yeah, it didn't really work, because so I had this vintage white yarn that I wanted to use, and I put 2 strands together, and I was trying to do it with a 3.25 hook, but it was just too small of a hook for the yarn. So then I went up to 3.75, still was giving me problems. So I did a 4mm hook. And then I'm like, well, okay, I'll just have, you know, a toy-sized nativity. I can put it on the mantle. But I didn't think it was going to be this huge, so I didn't finish the angel. I'll show you what I've got. This is what I have. can you imagine if there's 3 shepherds, Mary and Joseph, and 3 wise men, plus the animals, and it would just be way too big. So I'm gonna still make this an angel, but this isn't gonna be part of the nativity scene that I'm gonna be doing. This is just gonna be a standalone angel decoration. The yarns I used are these ones right here. For the head is the skein tones in Peachy. This is one of those vintage thin yarns with a really big halo on it. And then I have this vintage white yarn. So I held these 2 together so that, because I thought, oh, the angel will be kind of shimmery, you know. The angel's kind of huge. The head is just 1 strand though, so it's not proportionate. I'm just gonna like turn this into some kind of artistic angel. The base, it does stand up straight because I put in some of those glass beads. These things right here, I've got a jar of these glass beads and they're Christmas color. So I put some of those in, probably maybe like 10 or 12 in the bottom, and then just stuffed it with polyfill. So this you'll see again only when it's finished, looking more like a Christmas angel. For the pattern for that, like the whole nativity scene, I'm gonna go way down in hook size, and I'm just gonna get some of my thinner yarns. I thought that I was just gonna use number 4 acrylics, but probably the skein tones it'll be the thickest yarn that I'm gonna use, which that yarn isn't like really thick. I mean, it says it's a number 4, but I don't know, you can't really tell. But it's not like bulky number 4 like the loops and threads classic acrylic is that I usually use all the time. And I have a lot of different shades in this. So yeah, I'll be making another angel tonight, and hopefully I'll have that to show you tomorrow, and it'll be maybe half of the size of the huge one, but that's okay. For Vlogmas, I am not going to hold myself to a high standard. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna go with it. Kind of had a plan. I do want to take my vitamins every day and crochet the nativity. So that's what's gonna be happening during Vlogmas. I had this bigger scrappy project going until December 1st, and I'm happy to say that I finished everything that I was doing for that, which was making whatever I could out of, what was it, like I think it was 2 pounds, 4.3 ounces of scrap yarn that the cats and the kids had picked out. That video is a few videos back. I've been working on that since October, and I finished the last project for that on the 29th of November. So yay, I did it. I had 3 of these size bags full of scrap yarn, and one exception that I didn't use is this yarn here, because I have the perfect project planned for this, but that's not going to happen until January. So I didn't want to use this up because this is some kind of a scrap yarn that I know I won't be able to get probably again. I don't remember where I got it, and there's no ball band for it. But out of all, and this is like 1.7 ounces of yarn, so I used over 2 pounds of scrap yarn up, which is awesome, and it made 25 items, 25 projects out of that yarn, which is what I'm going to show you right now. A few of those projects I don't have with me anymore. I had made a snail, and that pattern was by Penguin Place Crafts, which I turned into a keychain, and then I took that as one of the prizes at church. So I don't have that with me. I don't have a worm. I made a worm. I think it might have been the first thing that I made, a little pink worm. Briella wanted that, and it's up in her room. The other 3 projects that I'm going to show you, you've already seen these before, which was this spider here. I don't recall who the pattern is by, and that was just using latte cake yarn and some other scrap of yarn held together. And then there was this guy, which I still need to make a guitar for or something. And I confess, you guys, the rest of this eyelash yarn I threw it away. I threw it away. My challenge, my rules. I'm not ever gonna use eyelash yarn again. So yeah, I was gonna use it for stuffing, but I didn't even want to deal with that because I didn't want the little fibers to be poking through. And then I made this bat, which this is on my desk, and it's holding a Santa head. This is just a Santa head toothpick that I got at the thrift store in a bag of a bunch of other vintage birthday cake decorations. So I stuck it in the bat wing, and I have a bat with Santa's head on my desk. So anyway, this was one of the projects from the scrap yarn. I really like how the latte cake made the bat fuzzy. So then I have all these other projects. I think I showed you one of the mice that I made. Anyway, I have a pile right next to me, so I'm just gonna go through the pile of stuff. I don't recall hook sizes or anything that I used. Probably between a 3.25 and 3.75. So here we go. We'll start with some of the mice, since I mentioned that. This yarn is part alpaca. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was called. This is my own pattern here for this chubby mouse, and this was the first one I made because the bobble stitches aren't quite even, but I did get it fixed for the other ones, and this one's head's a little bit crooked. So I have this mouse, which is going to be a cat toy, so I could just throw that in with the cat toys. I have a bag here, and the reason I have a bag because these ones have catnip in them. I've got this one made with the same yarn. I did not put a face on it. This is going to be a gift for my sister's cats. Hopefully they're not watching. Max and Marty. So Max will get one. And I made another one, same kind of yarn with no face. I don't think the cats really care. This has got organic catnip in it, and I can smell the catnip. Like, there's a lot of catnip. The bag was on my desk, and Dingo was trying to get into the bag, but he didn't. I made this catnip ball out of some of the scrap of, I think that is still some of the alpaca yarn. So that's going in with cat toys, which are right on the floor in front of me, and I'm just gonna throw that on the floor. I mean, like, I had a little bit of that yarn left. This is what the yarn looked like. And so I made another cat toy. I mean, if all else fails, turn stuff into cat toys, right? So that can go in the cat toys. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll show you this. This is another one of the balls. So I made 2 catnip balls. And then I have this fail. This turned into a cat toy only because it was a fail. The mice, the balls, I had planned to make them into cat toys. You guys, I had this black and gray variegated type of yarn, and it's a rougher yarn. So I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna make a snake out of it. The snake looked horrible. Like, it looked absolutely horrible. I just did a freehand. I tried to shape it a little bit. I gave it some eyes, and then I gave it a really long tongue. And this is a cat toy. Pepper loved it. So yeah, made a cat toy again. I do have a few more mice. These do not have catnip in them or anything. You can probably hear the bag. I made 3 that look like this. The ear's a little crooked. This is really soft. It was some kind of a gray thin yarn, and so I held 2 strands together. That one and this one. They're a little wonky because they were in a bag. I didn't do safety eyes. I just gave it an acrylic nose and some acrylic eye. And the last one I made is just a small one. This is just 1 strand of that gray yarn. This is 2, a little size comparison when you hold 2 strands versus the 1 strand. This one was like reminding me of a hamster or something. I don't know. But so I made a bunch of mice with that scrap yarn. With that gray yarn, I also did another loaf cat. This is Ella's pattern from No Catchy Name. I just embroidered the face, and yeah, cute little loaf cat. The girls had wanted me to make a corn. I don't know if you remember, but there was this yellow, crinkly, thin yarn. I don't even know what kind it was. It didn't have a ball band. So I made a corn. This is Ep. This is Ep the corn. His full name is Epic. I don't know. It's just, the girls, like, they say, you know, like if something's epic, they don't say epic, they say Ep. They have their own language. They do. But anyway, so I held 2 strands together, and then I did hold a strand of just regular, I think it's Mainstays yellow with it. I don't know if you can see the crinkly thinness of that yarn. So 2 strands of the crinkly yellow and 1 strand of just regular. I probably used I might have used a 6mm hook actually with this one. And the leaves or husks, this is some scrap yarn that I had in another area that I grabbed, and I held 2 strands together. I really like how I just freehanded this, by the way, this pattern. I just freehanded it. But these can fold down, and then there's a space in here, so you could put something in there. So this is Ep the corn. I think it turned out really cute. I just gave it a simple face because right before I made this corn, I made this strawberry that the face was giving me problems. This is the strawberry that I was making, and I tore this face out so many times. I didn't put safety eyes in it, so I had to embroider the face. I don't know, I'm like 30% happy with this. I freehanded this pattern here, and you can tell it's a strawberry, right? But yeah, and this was that pink crinkly yarn and I held a strand of just number 4 pink yarn with it because I couldn't see the stitches with whatever kind of yarn that was. Since I had more of the pink yarn left and some of the gray yarn that I used for the mice and the cats, and I had some purple yarn that had a texture to it, I made this a granny square, solid granny square, and this is a doll blanket. That's what I'm calling it. It's a doll blanket. I'm gonna give this to Briella. She can do what she wills with it. It's really soft, and it's kind of thick too, so I made a doll blanket. Another toy accessory that I made, because I had just a little bit of yarn left, is a little rug. This is going to be a Little's Pet Shop's rug. So, you know, didn't want to throw it away. This is actually 3 strands of some kind of a thin yarn held together. But I made a bigger project out of most of that yarn, which is this project right here. This is the same yarn. And I made a bag. Very simple bag. I did not line it. I just kept using a bunch of the little scrap balls, holding 2 strands together. In this case, it was 3 strands already stranded together. I gave it a very simple strap, just a short one. I can probably, you know, put this on my arm. I could even put yarn in here and, you know, crochet while I'm not walking at the park or anything anytime soon because it's 14 degrees and we do have snow on the ground. But anyway, so I made this bag here. I also made a little notions pouch right here. This is really pretty. I used all of the pastel colors, and there's a little bit of latte cake in there, and this purple yarn is kind of fuzzy. So, and I did not line this either. I'm probably not going to line it. I used half doubles, by the way, and for the other bag too, half double crochets. I crochet tight. Nothing's really gonna poke through. I'm not gonna be putting like needles in here or anything like that. I don't even know what I'm gonna be putting in here. It might end up on my crochet cart holding some little odds and ends. I think I only have 2 more things to show you, and I will talk about these patterns more in an upcoming video, but I did make those granny square Christmas trees that you fold over, and this one was that really thick yarn. I did run out, but I ran out at a really good spot, and when I folded it, it just kind of gave it a scalloped little bottom to this Christmas tree. I'm probably going to put a hook in it and hang it up. So I think that's it. Yeah, so all of that stuff came from those bags. of scrap yarn, which is really cool that you can use up just random scrap balls and you never know what you're going to get out of those colorful balls of yarn. I still have a lot of scrap yarn that I want to get through. I do need a tree skirt, so I'm thinking maybe of crocheting a tree skirt out of some of that scrap yarn. Maybe that'll happen this month. We'll see. I don't know. So anyway, welcome to Vlogmas. The following videos this month probably won't be as long as this one, but I hope you guys are gonna join me for Vlogmas. Thank you for watching, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.